All right. We're going to roll into our September team training. It's going to cover a variety of different topics and then also go through some of our getting to know you kind of things, as well as getting a chance to talk more about what is working for us and what isn't working and so forth, and kind of catch you up on some stuff as well. And throughout the training, I've sprinkled some pictures in from our recent trip to Savannah, Georgia for the Hands and Voices National Conference that Andrea and I just participated in this past weekend. So this is the trees. I forgot what they're called. I want to say cypress, but I'm not sure if that's right. The mossy trees, how about that one, that are up and down the streets along the Riverwalk. All right, so Andrea is actually going to go through and chat on this slide here.
All right. First of all, it is now called the Leadership Conference because we are international. It was a very interesting conference because we had people there from Kenya and from Russia. And we have counterparts in Canada and Guam. So we are, Hands and Voices is definitely moving and grooving. So, well, we as a chapter did extremely well. We ended up getting an award for being the most organized and timely chapter in reporting quarterly statistics that they asked for from both Carrie and myself. And so we were very lucky and fortunate to receive a free conference registration for the conference next year. So that was exciting. We got recognized. Moving on, so we went to, both Carrie, myself, and one of our board members, Tina Childress, went to a training on Zoho. And Zoho is an online database, basically, but it has some amazing features that hopefully in the future will allow us as parent guides to actually put our notes and our discussions with our families in that database so that the transfer of information is instant. So Carrie can go right in there and see who you've been talking to, when you talked to them, what you talked about. So that's our goal. I don't know when it will happen. It could be 6 months. It could be a year, but it is coming. So that's some great news. Let's see. Carrie, I did not go to the session on culture and strategy. I think you did?
Yes. So it was a really interesting talk, and it was a great session. It was Terry Patterson's husband who, the first thing he said is, I've never done a PowerPoint before and never given a presentation before, but I'm going to see how I do. And honestly, it was one of my favorite presentations out of the entire conference. So it was a really interesting way of looking at things. The idea behind it is we can go in with our strategy, with our plan, but based on everyone's culture and their experiences, our plan might not happen exactly how we have planned. So it was really a great way of looking at it, and I think that really holds true to the families that we work in. We can go in with a plan, but things can quickly change. So we'll probably expand that into a future training. I also attended a training on coaching versus counseling, and it was really geared towards the coordinators and you know, what does coaching look like, what does counseling look like, where are your strengths, and where, you know, where are some areas that you might need to fix. And again, I think that's another one that could very well bleed into working with our families. So with that, that would also probably be another future training. Andrea, do you have any other sessions that struck you?
No, I haven't really gone through the sessions that I went to actually speak on them quite yet. But one of the things that I did want to mention, and we have at least one of the people on this call, is the OUR Project, and this is a child abuse awareness program. And I believe is it Pauline and Jacqueline that attend those meetings? Pauline, Jacqueline, is that you guys? You can raise your hand if it is.
Correct. Oh, okay.
Okay. So they attend monthly meetings with the Hour Project, and it basically provides awareness. And what do we do if we go into a home and we feel that, you know, there's some form of abuse going on, whether it be neglect all the way up to sexual abuse of a child that is in that home? How do we handle that situation, and what are the steps that we can take? So we do have representation on that project, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some information to the parent guides, because it's invaluable information. You're never going to be asked to call the police. There is a number, 1-800-for-a-child, that you can call, or it's 877-for-a-child, that you can call if ever you think that that's an issue. But no, put it in the back of your mind now that Pauline and Jacqueline attend these monthly meetings. So if ever you feel like something's going on, give one of them a shout and see what they have to say, and then contact Carrie or myself. We have someone at our headquarters of Hands and Voices, Harold Johnson, who is heading up this program, so he will be able to help you. So that is one of the takeaways that I have from the conference, is they really dug deep into that whole issue that we deal with every day when we go into people's homes, and you know, strategies that we can put at work. So that's one of the things that I learned. Next year, we do have a save the date already, September 18th through 20th, and it's going to be in Texas. It's in New Braunfels, which is right by Austin. So we typically budget for 2 people to go to that conference. But now that we have a free registration, if someone else is interested, we can certainly look into having you join Carrie and I to go to that meeting. Carrie, back to you.
Thank you. And this next slide here shows actually the grounds of the conference area that we'll be at. So kind of looks like, from what I understand, like an all-inclusive, everything's on the grounds type of place. And so for those of you that are Texas geographically challenged, from what I understand, it's not far from Austin. So there you have it. All right. Oh, also, going back, so one of the questions was about where is the leadership or the Hands and Voices National Conference going to be. It's going to be in Texas, not Kentucky. Don't get confused, guys. Kentucky is in March for the EDDI conference, our annual training, and Texas is in September for the National Leadership Conference.
Melissa
has left the conference.
Okay, so areas that we're considering hiring for, 3 areas, so no more than 3 people. Chicago, I've come to realize that in the Chicago Cook area, we really don't have a good representation of a CI-using family. So looking for a family that uses a cochlear implant in the Cook area. Then below the Cook area, below that turquoise and brown is red, and it's 4 counties, LaSalle, Grundy, Will, and Kankakee. We don't have a person currently in that area. We float our other guides over into that area. I would really like one in there.
Melissa
has arrived.
We have a strong relationship with an audiologist in Kankakee, and I'm hoping that if I communicate with her, she'll be able to help connect us with some applicants from that area who can really continue to work with her and receive referrals. And then the far west part of the state there, that orange section, again, Melissa kind of covers that area, but she's way at the top there by Peoria. And I would love it if we can get somebody a little bit either far west state lines or a little bit deeper in that region. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I sent this out to you guys saying, hey, what do you guys think? And I also wanted some honest feedback from you. Are any of you overloaded, worried about hiring and what that means for you? Are any of you looking to move on? Because obviously that would also be an area possibly that I would need to have covered. But, you know, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And we can talk it out and go from there. I'm not pushing any of you out. That's not what I'm saying here. I just want us to make sure that you know that I'm always open to have a discussion. And, you know, things in our lives change, and I get it. So I just don't want to find out last minute. So possible timeline, I'm going to be looking at having a call for applications in October with probably interviewing towards the end of the month, or maybe a, what do you call that, a webinar to share a little bit more information about the program sometime in the month of October. And then November, very beginning of November, looking at interviewing and then selecting. And then from there on, December, January, February, March, really December, January, February, more than just March, being our pre-trainings. We have a lot of them recorded, and for those that are not recorded, some of you have said that you might be able to possibly help with that training and also help keep track of who's completing what training and such for me, which would be awesome, because thy plate is full. Any questions or thoughts right away on that? And again, if you don't feel like talking in front of the team, you know, we can certainly have a discussion at another time. But okie dokies. All right, so I probably sound like a broken record to you guys, but I'm sorry. So moving into the choices role, I've kind of see how the complete timesheet process works and what I need to do after I get them for you to get them to Chicago Hearing Society Annexter to actually get you a paycheck. With that being said, I have to turn them in on the 15th and the last day of the month. That's when I turn them in. So if your timesheet comes in on the 16th, more than likely I've already sent them on their way. So I will be holding that until the next time I submit. If for some reason you're thinking, okay, it's the 15th, I think that, you know, or the 14th, but I can't get it to you until the morning of the 15th or something on that order, do send me an email and ask or let me know, give me a heads up, and maybe we can work together. Also, with this last set of timesheets, or last set of paychecks that you guys were supposed to get on the 15th, I believe, or a paycheck on the 15th, somebody brought to my attention that they didn't get their paycheck, and so when I looked into it, it was actually the person in the accounting department who never received the invoices from me and the approval from Karen. So she obviously got that when I brought it to her attention and apologized and then said that they were supposed to be in, I think, by last Friday. So if for some reason that still hasn't happened, let me know. And if you do notice you didn't get your timesheet on the day that it's supposed to happen, let me know. I can't fix it if I don't know, okay? So the dates on the timesheet, again, one of your questions from tonight, they have to be in date order from the furthest away date to the most recent date, okay? Please, it really makes it difficult for me. Do not put more than one date on a line. If you talk to somebody twice on two different dates, just pick one of the dates and put the total time for that date. You know, if you're trying to say, okay, these 3 dates was a total of 15 minutes, just pick one of those dates and put 15 minutes. I trust you. Please do not forget to sign it, okay? And if you write closed, saying that the family's closed, don't think that I'm going to see the close on the timesheet and automatically close out the family's file. You need to send me an entirely separate email with the subject line close so I can actually make sure I follow through and send them the paperwork and close the family out. If you are submitting team trainings or calls for all, again, one of your questions, then it needs to be billed the same month that it happens. Due to changes with the billing for our grant, I cannot bill for things after they happen. So, for instance, outreach is another one. If you do an outreach in September, you need to put that on one of your September timesheets. If you do a call for all in September, it needs to go on your September timesheet. Your October training, team training, it goes on your October timesheet, okay? Please keep those the same month that it happens. The other thing I'd really like you guys to do is just get in the habit of submitting once a month. I know you know we got the 45-day rule with time with families and such, but if you could just try to make it a habit of the 15th of every month, I'm going to at least get one timesheet in, that's going to be my time, or the end of the month. If you do it every 2 weeks, great. But if you don't have that much time to submit, at least make an attempt to do it once a month. The other thing, too, is if you're not submitting your time but you're doing the time, it hurts the program if you don't submit it. I know you might think it's just a few hours, it's not a big deal, but I budget in a specific amount based on the families that we have, and if we get to the end of the year and we don't use that amount, I can't prove or justify the services that we're providing. And so then all that means is budget cuts the next year, and we don't need that either. Okay? The email reminders that come out from Yahoo, they are reminders, so please, they go out early for a reason, and that's to remind you. So don't get worked up thinking that they're due that day that they come out. It says, you know, when they're due, and again, they're set up early to help you remember. All right, so this is the point where we're going to be raising our hands and chatting with me. Okay. All righty, let me adjust my screen here so I can hopefully see all of you. Oh, I think I might have to turn off chat or get rid of chat, yeah, to see all of you. All right. All righty, so if you know the answer, I would like you to raise your hand. First one to raise your hand gets a point. I think this is how we're going to make it work. Person at the end with the most points gets a little goodie from me. All right? Let's see if this works. Okay. Who attended the children's? All right, Susan, you're up quick, man. Yeah, but that doesn't count. Craniofacial Association Family Retreat this summer. I think the second hand up was Melissa. Melissa, do you want to answer?
It was Susan.
Yeah, very good.
And Megan.
Okay, hands down, ladies. And do not answer your own question. Hopefully you know it, but don't throw your hand up first. Okay. Let's move on. Okay. Which whole family was baptized at their church this past August? I think that was an Andrea.
Melissa.
Very good. The Asbury family. We got to get used to her new last name. Whose insurance doesn't currently cover durable medical, but they are hoping to upgrade their daughter to a NAIDA cochlear implant? And that would be Jacqueline.
It's Kelly.
Very good. Who will be having surgery later this week for tendonitis? Jacqueline.
Oh, sorry. It's Lucy.
Oh, Emily.
Oh, shoot.
All right, hands down. Who was the first to share their All About Me? Oh, I think that was Lydia.
Andrea.
Yeah, I was surprised. Anyone else surprised there? No offense, Andrea.
Hey now.
All right, hands
Be
down.
kind. Be kind, no hating.
I was very proud of you. Who is teaching math and phonics to 5 different grades? Ooh, Melissa.
Krista.
Very good. Whose son has their 3-year re-eval IEP coming up and is worried that the school will drop his speech and language goal? Melissa.
Lucy.
Nope.
Darn.
Allie. All right. Whose son is keeping busy with playing football this fall? Sorry, I'm like distracted because I'm watching the hands and trying to read at the same time. Lydia.
Susie.
Yes. All right. Whose family worked at concerts in the amphitheater in Tinley Park this summer? Jacqueline.
Jennifer.
Yes. All right. We're looking at Jacqueline and Melissa at a tie, or actually Jacqueline, Lydia, and Melissa at a tie for 2. You guys can still get it because I think this last page has 5 questions or 4 questions on it. All right, ready? Whose daughter attended an intense 2-week Braille workshop? Jacqueline.
Eliza.
Very good. I feel like a game show host. All right, ready? Whose family experienced altitude sickness while on vacation in Colorado? Emily?
Lydia.
Oh, Andrea.
Very good. Okay. Everyone hands down? There you go. Whose daughter just graduated from Child's Voice and is headed into the mainstream? Jen?
Oh, I got one. Pauline.
Andrea.
Very good. Okay. Who performed a wedding ceremony this past July? Holy smokes. I think that was a Melissa.
That would be you, Carrie Valiant.
Yes, it would. With a little typo. They weren't deaf friends, they were dear friends. Sorry, guys. The F and R are really close on the keyboard. All right, I think we have one more, maybe. Yes, one more. Whose son uses a phonic Roger pen in school? Oh, that was close. Andrea.
Jacqueline.
Yes. Awesome. All right, good job, guys. So let's see. Oh, my gosh, we have a tie. Oh, Jacqueline and Melissa.
Should I think of a legal question for the tiebreaker? I'm kidding. It's just a joke. It's a bad IDA humor joke.
I'll figure out a prize for both of you ladies. How about that? All right. Good job, guys.
But if we attended your conference, we should know the answer, Andrea.
If I could think of the question, Melissa.
Well, maybe I'll get
it is 9:45, which is like, it's like 45 minutes past my bedtime.
It's 45 minutes past her reading time is what it is.
This is true. You know all the tricks.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate everyone sending in a little update on what's been going on. And I like that we focus on the whole family. It's really hard for us as a team, not seeing each other regularly, to really stay in touch. So I really liked doing this. I really liked getting the opportunity to just see what happened over the summer, because summers are crazy busy. and we try to cram in a lot of extra stuff, I think. So thank you all for taking the time to do that. All right, so another challenge that we had for some of you guys, when I was going through and doing your reviews, many of you had said that you were having issues keeping up with families, keeping organized, and so forth. So I had suggested to quite a few of you about a file folder system, and I suggested that you have 4 folders, whether file folders, regular folders, a piece of construction paper folded in half. You get my point of view. And in there, you number those 4 folders, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that being the first week of the month, second week of the month, third week of the month, fourth week of the month, so forth. And what you do is you put your families in those folders. So for those of you that have a lot of families, don't try to contact them all in the same week. I don't think that would personally work. If that's working for you, great, stick with that system. But what I would suggest is breaking your families up amongst the 4 weeks. And then if you make contact with the family and you don't get in touch, then they would stay in that first week folder. You can leave them your message, your email, or whatever you did. You make a note on that, and you leave them in that first week folder because then next month you touch base at the same time. Or maybe you're talking with the family and they're in week 1, but you know what, they're going to have a doctor visit next week, and you know, they really like you to check in with them next week. So what are you going to do? You're going to either throw them into the next week's folder, depending on what time of the week it is. If it's Monday, maybe you throw them in that folder. Or if their appointment's on Friday, then to throw them into folder 3, because it will be right after that visit, and you can check in with them. This way you're not letting, you know, people fall through the cracks. And I also created a little summary sheet for you to keep in front of each folder to keep track of time and what you tried to do, how you try to reach out to them. And the idea behind that is that with a quick summary then to transfer to your timesheet. So I know some of you had remarked that you got it rolling but then let it fall, or you know, summer got in the way and it didn't quite happen, but you're going to give it a go again. Some of you said, you know what, I have my own system, I figured out, it's working. And then others had remarked that it was working well for them. So, you know, anyone maybe that has attempted this and has anything to share, or any of you do something that is working out that would like to share with the team, and, you know, and kind of maybe offer another suggestion.
Carrie, this is Melissa.
Hello.
Hello. I have found that it's easiest for me to call my families when I'm driving home because I have a half-hour drive, and I have, like, over my speaker in my van.
Okay.
So then my biggest thing is just remembering to write down my little notes to myself as soon as I pull in my driveway before I get out of the car, so then I'm not bombarded by all 4 kids as soon as I walk in the door.
Okay.
But it seems to work pretty well because I'm not distracted by something else if I'm talking to them on the phone. I mean, I'm always talking to somebody on the phone in my van, it seems like, so why not talk to my families then? The only problem I've had lately is that we've been getting a lot of rain and you can't really talk to somebody on the phone when it's raining over your speaker.
Right. Okay. Now, so do you keep like their file folder with you, or, you know, how do you work with having their information, what you talked about last, and stuff? Do you bring any paperwork with you in the car, or do you have them programmed in your phone?
I program a reminder into my phone of when I need to call, like what day of the week is better for them, because some people a Monday is better than a Thursday. Some people a weekend is just the easiest time to get a hold of them because they're too busy during the week. So I have that reminder on my phone of, like, so the families that are in folder number 2, in week number 2 in my calendar, I have like their last name and that I need to call them at some point in time that day or whatever time they prefer.
Okay.
And so then I put a reminder on that event in my calendar to remind me to actually call them.
Okay.
And then either they answer or they don't, and if they don't, then you got to wait till the next month for me to call you back again.
All right. Anyone else want to share?
Carrie, this is Jacqueline.
Yes.
I know one thing that's helped me that every time, I get a new family, I try to remember all the different things, like the files, to start, their progress reports and all that type of stuff. So I made myself a checklist. And so now every time I have a new family, I just look at that checklist and I'm able to go through like all those 10 steps or whatever it might be and have everything ready. For example, like printing off, the intake form, printing off the release, printing off, the first visit form, just all those things. So now everything is done in one step instead of going back and thinking, oh, shoot, I forgot to start a new progress, report for them, or I forgot to print off the release, and I'm going to the family today, or something like that, and I'm quick, trying to find it. So the checklist has really been helpful.
Okay, good. Anyone else would like to share? And maybe you don't have something positive to share. Maybe you're really struggling, and if that's the case, now's the time to let it out, and, maybe we can get some suggestions from the team.
This is Allie. I'm kind of with Melissa. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I do a lot of my talking in the car because same deal, but my ride takes me an hour. Woohoo! So I do call my families, but I also carry like a paper calendar so that I can write on the date just the name of the person I talked to, and it has a little note section on the side. So I write a quick note because I was the same way where I'd be like, wait, who was that I talked to? And I couldn't remember because I was also bombarded by everybody when you walk in the door. So it just was better for me to write it down on paper, and then I would be able to go and input it easier on my timesheet. But I do use the phone for my reminders. Instead of the calendar, I put it on my reminders app because then it doesn't interfere with the family calendar and all that stuff. But that's been working a little bit better for me.
Thanks, Allie.
Okay.
All righty. Well, if you have something that comes to mind or something that you would like to get some feedback, don't hesitate to use the Yahoo group to throw a question out there and see how others are doing it. Okay, so calls for all. We have got this month set up, and let's see, October and November set up, and then no call in December. So I'm going to be looking at January, February, March. What are those calls going to be looking like? What topics should we be doing? The other thing I want to look at is how do we get more families on the call? Are you guys making an attempt to call your family and or email them and let them know? Are there any other ideas that you have to get more families on the call? So any thoughts as far as topics? Any thoughts on getting more families on the call? Okay, so quiet. As far as topics go, what are some of the key things that your families ask, or maybe something that a family has asked you and it stumped you, and you had to go and do some additional research on? Those things might make some great topics, even if they're a little bit more specific. So with that being said, if you think of something, don't hesitate to let me know. We've been doing the calls for all now for a couple years, so obviously we have had many topics over the years. So with that being said, I don't know if we should revisit some topics or if there's anything out there that we haven't done. But I want to keep it fresh. I want to keep it interesting so that we can get families on the call. Also, if for some reason you didn't get the email, the previous calls for all that were recorded have been transferred into a particular file that they're now housed on YouTube, and that link is on the Illinois Sound Beginnings website. So if you go, I believe, to Sound Beginnings and then to Parents, and then somehow Parent Support, I think, and then Guide by Your Side, and then scroll down to the bottom of that, I believe you will find webinars, and then that's where you'll find the link. So it's buried a little bit. I can't change that, unfortunately, but at least they're out there. So by show of hands, how many of you have had the chance to share those recordings with your families? All right, so it's a small number of you, ladies. What's been your feedback from sharing these recordings with your families? Has there been feedback, I guess?
Hi, this is Kelly. No feedback. I mean, I send it out and I get absolutely no response.
Okay.
This is Melissa.
Yes.
I've had two families who have actually said that the ones that they've actually looked at were very helpful. One, I don't even remember what the topics were, but they were very, very grateful that the information was there for them.
Good. And, you know, I believe when I log into the back end of things, I can see which ones have been accessed. And I do have to say, Andrea, yours are the top ones that get watched. Your ones for accommodations in the classroom, transitioning, and what else? The relationship between you and the school district. So those three that we did probably almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, are some of the more popular ones. So thank you for that. All right.
You're welcome.
Because you guys are so talkative, looking at team trainings, what is it that we haven't gone over that you'd like to learn more about? Is there anything that you struggle with as a guide that you need some more training on, or any struggles that your families face that you need more, you feel like you're not prepared enough to help them? Any thoughts right away?
Carrie, this is Pauline. I think the one that I do struggle with is financial resources.
Okay.
I just don't know a lot about it and what's available, you know, all the different options. So that would be, I think, really helpful to me.
Okay, very good.
Carrie, this is Jacqueline.
Uh-huh.
I had a family ask me today about insurance for hearing aids.
Okay.
So, and, you know, and I know that's been a struggle here in the state of Illinois, but I don't know where to direct them except, you know, calling their own insurance company and that, you know, they're like, yeah, well, we already know that it doesn't, you know, they won't cover them. And I'm like, okay, you know.
So my quickie answer on that is if they're under 3 or under 3, then either EI or DSCC would pay for them. If they are above 3, then the only resource that I can think of at this time is either a loaner bank or the funding through Chicago Hearing Society and their program here, the Cheers. So, but I can see what I can do to get somebody with maybe some more information or more resources to help us out there too.
Well, and Carrie, you sent that note.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Melissa.
Sorry. I know for a fact that if you're DSCC eligible and your child is over 3 and you're not eligible for EI anymore, if your insurance does not cover it, after your insurance is billed for it and they deny it, DSCC will then step up and help.
And that's if the
because
family
that's how my daughter gets her. Go ahead.
Right, but the family has to be financially eligible for DSCC, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And Carrie, this is Kelly. You had sent up a note too about that company, and I'm drawing a blank, and my nephew works for them. Cerner has that Helping Hands, or I can't think of the name of the foundation, but it's Cerner. They will, if the financially, if the family is eligible, they will help out too. I know somebody that got a Neptune through them, but they had to meet the financial qualifications first.
Okay. Maybe can you send that link on to the team?
You had sent it out. I just can't think of the name of it. It was Cerner's, I'll try to Google it real quick. It was like Helping Hands.
Do you remember how long ago I sent it?
What's that?
Do you remember how long ago I sent it?
Recently, within the last month. I'll look for the email.
Okay, thank you. Lydia, I see your hand up. Do you just like raising your hand, or do you want to share?
I want to share. I know CHS, the Here the Cheers program, they actually covered my daughter's cross-aids, so we didn't have to pay anything at all out of pocket because our insurance company didn't cover anything at all. So that is a great program.
Excellent. Yay.
Carrie, I think I just found your email that Kelly was looking for.
Okay.
It was August 23rd, and it looks like it was the subject line is financial assistance, and it's applications.kerner.com firsthand/firsthand.
Okay.
I'm going to copy the link and put it in the chat.
Yeah, they're really good about getting back to families within the month. Like, I mean, they are really quick to respond. But the thing is, you have to meet the financial qualifications. So,
okay.
Make sure you say that before you say they can help.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right. Great. So I've got some good, a good start to some fantastic topics. If you guys think of anything else, please don't hesitate to send that my way. All right. And this is a really huge barge that we saw in Savannah. All right. So LRP levels, just a quick mention on that. I know that there's some guides that would like to fill their mentoring activity area. So if you're struggling maybe with families or maybe with specific topics, or maybe you'd like to have another guide check in with you, let me know, and we can certainly count that as mentoring. If you're at a place and you don't know where to go next, or you really do want to make that transition to the next level, you just need to let me know. I can't read your mind, but I'd be happy to look at what your needs are and go from there. Also, if we do hire on some additional folks, then that would be more opportunities, again, for mentoring. Anita, I see your hand up. Did you have something to add?
Yes, I did. Back to the previous thing you were talking about, the insurance covering the hearing aids, I just thought of something. I thought maybe the Department of Vocational Resources, they could provide hearing aids for children who are in school that need that skill. I thought maybe that could be something that could help the parents. I know that they've helped cover hearing aids for my daughter. ORS, I think, is it? ORS?
Yeah.
I know maybe they could help other families. I mean, I don't know for sure, but.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, so before we wrap up with their final questions, we're just going to quickly, again, review what our team training is, and then that's March 8th through 10th in Kentucky. We would leave on the 8th and return home on the 11th.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I didn't have the mute on.
Oh, no problem. If you want to leave on the 10th, because some folks have asked that, if your caravan wishes to leave that date with you, that is fine. You just need to wait until the conference is over, because one of the things that we're trying to do in order to get your registration fees waived, which they're really pricey, they're in, I think, $325 a person. In order to get your conference fees waived, we would be volunteering to help as room monitors for the conference. Now, you don't volunteer, it's not an entire day, I don't believe. I think it's just a couple shifts within a day, unless they've changed anything. So with that being said, not leaving until 5 because, again, covering some of those room monitoring positions and so forth. So the thoughts of the caravans are listed there in what areas kind of like leaving from. Obviously, I picked the furthest person and went down. It doesn't mean that that person has to drive. It was just how I was looking at it. So these were the areas that I was thinking with suggested car mates. Again, just initial thoughts. We might have to add in another caravan if we do add some other folks, otherwise squeezing them into a different car. So, just kind of letting you into my brain. Okay. We are working on funding. It does look like we should get some carryover to make everything work out, which is great. Andrea is actually on the planning committee for the room monitors for the National EDDI Conference, which is wonderful. So that should really help get us in there. And then again, same thing as last time. When you come home, we'll set up a couple months of paying it forward, of you guys doing a little mini presentation on something that you learned. If you want to submit an abstract to present at the EDDI conference, March 8th through 10th, they are actually, it's September 29th is the deadline, not the 28th. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can certainly do so. If you want to buddy up with somebody else, you can co-present. And if you don't know how to submit an abstract to present, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Reach out to me. They also have some tips on the actual part of the website of where you would do that. Any questions? All righty. Moving on.
Yes,
anyone want to read for me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? It's Anita.
Yes.
I have a question. Okay. So I was wondering where I can find that September 29th. Where's the list? Because I would like to be part of that.
To submit an abstract to present at the EDDI conference?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I will send out a link to all of you, actually. I'll send you the link so you can check out their website and the hotel and the area, as well as being the abstract. I'll email that out to you guys tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm just writing myself a note, guys. Sorry. Okay, fabulous. Is someone available to read for me?
I can do it again, Carrie. This is Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. All right, question number 1.
What state will next year's Hands and Voices National Conference be in? A, Wisconsin, B, Texas, C, Kentucky, D, none of the above.
Okay, question 2.
We are considering hiring no more than 3 guides for our team. True or false?
All right. Question 3.
On your timesheet, it doesn't make a difference what order you list your service dates. True or false?
All right. Flipping to 4 here. Whoops.
Number 4. Monthly team training should be billed A, the same month training is attended or given. B, doesn't make a difference when it is billed. C, 45 days of the training, probably after the training. D, none of the above.
Okay, question 5.
For every level of the LRP that you achieve, you will receive a gift card bonus. True or false?
Okay, I think I was just missing Lucy, but maybe I missed you. Maybe not. Aha, there you go. Thank you. All right, and all right, I think we are good to go. Thank you all for being on the call tonight, and have a great evening.